So today I'm coming to you just Nick G. Eric G had to go to work or else we were going to do a session. But I want to talk about what my friend Rob said specifically. When I showed him the first episode, just looking for what we could change because he's also an enlightened person in these times. And he said you shouldn't have came out with weather modification as fast as you did. At first I responded with, well, I'm just spitting the truth. Just a little defensive, but when I really looked at it, he's kind of right, because when I first learned about weather modification, when I first heard about it, I was like, nah, not possible, not at all. And so I just want to take that back, even though I can't. I'm not going to, but you know what I'm saying, I'll learn from it. I need to take it slow. As my learning, I would see things that basically I didn't believe, and then they would come up later, and once I learned enough, then I was a little bit more skeptical, and then it led me to do research on it. And about the whole weather modification, it does happen, and it is very hard to believe. I know, because even I didn't believe it at first. First, let's start with HAARP. If you Google HAARP, you will see that it is a big plant in Alaska. We can click on images once you Google it. You'll see it's a big plant, and basically it's a frequency plant. Now, I don't know the ins and outs of it because I'm not in the government. I'm not working at HAARP, but frequencies, that's what it's about. As far as earthquakes, earthquakes cause tsunamis, even our clouds and work off certain frequencies. So the first time they could discover that they could use earthquakes, to my knowledge, is a guy was looking for oil. And when they look for oil in the ground, they shoot these frequencies. And they're not as big as these HAARP ones. So, but he was in California. And so I'm thinking that, the fault line was already weak or something. But basically he shot the frequencies into the ground, and then they bounced back up when they hit oil. Well, as soon as he turned on his machine, this is on the news, by the way, and I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. I saw it on the news channel, like a California local news, which they usually have more truthful things, but I saw it on, like I said, a local channel news. And basically, that when he turned it on and shot the frequencies into the ground, it caused I don't think it was a huge earthquake, but like a more like a tremor. Like the earth did shake, and it was an earthquake or a tremor, a smaller earthquake. But remember, it was lower frequencies. So I encourage you to look up that how earthquakes are made. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what I need to do, because my friend was right. You can't just come out and say these things, and we kind of get sidetracked. We know so much sometimes that it's hard to stay on a topic, but definitely I need to remember to back these things up and tell you where to find it. HAARP, just Google HAARP, HAARP. And when you go to the website, this is a big facility in Alaska. When you go to the website, it's a really crappy website, and when you really think about it, websites don't take that much to make. I've made one and helped make another. It's not the most difficult thing, especially for such a big organization. But they don't care about what they put to public. And basically, okay, let's move on. That's earthquakes. Now, and earthquakes do affect tsunamis, because when the ground shakes certain frequencies, I'm not sure if you can just shoot frequencies in the water and cause some type of distortion, but I'm not sure. But earthquakes, cause tsunamis. Then, okay, let's move to clouds. Already used in Vietnam, and I believe Vietnam 1960s. And what they do is they drop iodine and something else into the clouds. They have the airplanes that go through the cloud, and I'm not the only one who knows this. So you ask people that are awake like me and support Ron Paul, and they probably know what's up. And they'll say the same things I do, because they've been the same sources. And basically, a guy has a portfolio, and he's a pilot. And he was sent to do these things, and he had pictures of, you know what I'm saying, because they were researching it. And he would fly through, spray the chemical, and then they had pictures. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and the cloud just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it started raining. Now what the chemical does is it makes the cloud absorb all the moisture. And it just keeps absorbing moisture. And eventually when a cloud has too much moisture, it rains. Now, hell, I'm going to go into the other one too, because this one seems a little extreme to me, but I mean, this is supposedly what they know how to do. They know how to split an eye of a hurricane into two. And this is done with, you know, the people who always fly through the hurricane and stuff. Well, I'm not even specific on that. We'll just call that one a theory for now, because that is even a little bit extreme for me. But they're supposedly, the theory is that they know how to divide hurricanes, and they also know how to destroy a hurricane. And the only evidence I have to support this is that there was a document in Congress, and basically the document said that there should be no more weather modifications of any sort, and it had listed the sorts, and it said basically the reason why not to do it is because you're playing God. So either these weather modifications ended, or they just went classified, you see. And then another thing, the chemtrails. People love to talk about it, but they don't really know what's going on. No one really does. Because, let's face it, we're not the people putting the chemical into the plane, and we're not the pilot flying it over, you know? People have their theories, but I'm not going to really get into commenting about chemtrails. All I know is that is deliberate. It's deliberately done. Because you can't tell me I see other planes flying over, and some people say, oh, it's because they're at higher altitudes. That's what people say who are educated but don't want to believe it. Well, I see chemtrails that are low. I really do. And here's the thing, and they also say those are just normal contrails. Well, if you look at a normal plane with the normal gas and not spraying anything out of the back, basically the trail should disappear within a few minutes. Like, the trail shouldn't be more than, seeing it from the ground, a few feet long, you know? When you look at the plane, the trail shouldn't go all the way across the sky, because it would disappear as it goes, because it's water vapor. Water vapor just disperses, you know? It don't sit there and stay in the sky. And it's not just high altitudes. I see high altitude planes leave no chemtrail. None. So, basically my point on this is that something ain't right, and I believe that it's being deliberately done. Because if not, then every plane would leave a chemtrail, and every plane would have been leaving a chemtrail ever since I was little. Which I don't remember seeing that chemtrails when I was little. So, I mean, it just suddenly happens. I'm just a very observant person, and then I notice. So I just wanted to go on that. I wouldn't even call this the second episode. Just we went into it, and we kind of got sidetracked. So you're going to call this the weather modification episode. And you're listening to Unlocked Minds with your host, Nicholas Georgopoulos. And make sure that if you have any doubts of what I'm saying, or not even doubts, you just want to know the backup information, just come to me via Facebook, via YouTube, via Gmail, and I will respond. I love to teach people stuff that I've learned, because it's like my purpose, you know. Why else would I be doing this? Because I want people to know the truth. Alright, thank you. Have a good day. And you have listened to Unlocked Minds Radio.